Hey everyone, it's Lisa here from Business and Heels, and I'm so excited to see you all this wonderful Wednesday. And I'm joined today with Dene Menzel from Branthem. And Dene's going to share with us her little bit of her journey around breaking the bias, because of course, International Women's Day is just around the corner. But before we get on to this, welcome, Dene. It's lovely to have you.
Thanks so much, Lisa. I'm really excited for this conversation today.
Yes, so Dene's got a very cool business. It's called Branthem, and she works with people to create theme songs to really up the ante around branding. And she's recently just done it for Business and Heels. So we are so excited. If you listen to any of the promo videos we've got on any of our summits, you'll hear two different themes. They're really awesome. And in fact, we had our big summit on Friday for insurance, and people were saying they loved the theme and they just couldn't get the song out of their head on the weekend. So which is just a sign of a really great song. So well done, Dene. So tell us a little bit more about what you do.
So you pretty much gave me a great intro there, so I'm just going to embellish on that. So Branthem is basically a fusion of two words, brand and anthem. I've been around music a lot of my life, including being a songwriter. And what I noticed is that several years ago that people were marketing themselves on social media, and they were putting, beneath their videos, they were using, sort of that free stock music or, even silence, just talking. And I thought, well, what a great opportunity to amplify your brand, not just, just to have music there as a silence filler, but to actually have people remember you after they click off from your video, or whether they hang up from your voicemail or whatever it might be. And there's so many audio channels out there and platforms that include sound. So what better way to have people remember you than to create, something that is exclusively yours. And I suppose, Business in Heels was a great testimonial for that, because if people loved the song, then I hope that they walked away with thrive in their heads and stepping into their future, which is your tagline. So yeah, that we saw a gap, and so we started writing for brands, and more businesses loved the concept, and we basically, we just went from there.
And look, music's so evocative. It creates emotions and deep feelings with you far more than the written word. And I think, you can always remember like a moment where you were listening to this song, and it takes you back in time or forward in time. So yeah, I think it's music's so very powerful. But we're here today to talk about International Women's Day and breaking the bias. So tell us, your story on how you've been breaking the bias.
Well, look, I've always been very much about sort of changing the game. I've been always very interested in doing different things, ever since I've been a musician as well, like, changing the way songs are sung. I've been a choir director, messing with arrangements. I like to do things that haven't been done before. And so several years ago, this is way before the pandemic, I saw a guy, it was a classical choir director. His name was Eric Whitaker, and he was doing some really interesting things with bringing choir into the virtual space. And although he was doing it with classical music, and I thought this would be really cool with some pop music. So I created a virtual choir. The first one I did involved Kate Sobrano singing with 200 people from around the world. We rewrote Waltzing Matilda, and that was amazing. That was in 2016. But we did it again in 2017 for International Women's Day, funnily enough. So it's quite nice to sort of revisit this as we approach International Women's Day. And I wrote a track called I Am. And we got the Australian Girls Choir on board. We got a lot of different women from different walks of life, Olympic medalists, women in STEM, the AFLW, really just strong, empowered women, just to really have a message of, I'm beautiful, I'm, irreplaceable, I'm invincible. Those were the messages that came out from that. And 100 singers came to sing on that virtually. The track's on YouTube. We sold it to raise some money for girls from Oz, which is a philanthropic of the Australian Girls Choir, and we raised some funds for their cause as well, which was just awesome. So bringing all that together, changing the game a little bit, and we also changed things up. I mean, I don't know whether you can imagine rap music fused with choir, but we did that for that particular track. And yeah, and it was just awesome when you sort of like shake things up a little bit, change things around, do something that nobody's done before. That's right up my alley.
Yeah, that's great. And we're going to tag the video on the comments that go out with this particular story, so you can actually go and listen to it, which will be very exciting. I think, how did you get around the tech? I'm still fascinated about how you actually got sound to work in virtual, you know, from lots of different places.
Well, look, I feel like, who's the guy? James Cameron, is it, that did Avatar? You know, I feel like my ideas are way before the technology can catch up with it. That's how, you know, in terms of video latency and so forth. How we got around it was that we got all of the singers to record themselves with the track on video and on audio, so that we could capture both. And we had to put it together manually, create a video wall manually with all of these voices, sync them all up. And, you know, it's a big job for a project like that, especially when you've got like 100, 200 singers. But look, that's how we got around it. I'm hoping that the technology, somebody, you know, obviously solves the issue of latency over Zoom, so that we can do more virtual choir in real time over Zoom. I'll be right on it when somebody does, and I'm sure they'll be a very, very rich person, because a lot of musicians and singers would be very interested in using a platform like that, where they could do it in real time.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about you, but every time I try and play a video and we're using Zoom, it's always like, oh, what's going to be the drama this time? And is the sound going to work, and all the rest of it? But that's fabulous, Dene. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. It must have been amazing when you got it together and really played it. So well done.
Thank you. It's really rewarding. If our listeners out there would like to check the video out, it's and if you have daughters as well, it's a great video. A bit of storytelling in there as well, with a bit of a storyline, which I'm very passionate about. But it really is a great video to remind our daughters of tomorrow, I like to call them, that they have everything in their hands.
Fantastic. So we'll share that out, which I'm excited about. And you just keep pushing breaking down those barriers, and we'll see where we end up with in the future. That's very exciting. Thanks a lot for joining me today, Dene.
Thanks so much, Lisa.